Good evening, everyone. I am Lunara, and for the first time on this channel, the Dragon Queen flies solo. That is right, Shade is not with me tonight. As you may have noticed, she has been putting up a lot of solo videos, and I felt bad that I haven't been putting up any solo videos. I'm a little bit shy in front of the camera by myself, but I decided to suck it up and do a video anyway. So I decided to start my solo videoing with something that was inspired by a YouTuber I really enjoy, Peanut Butter Gamer. If by any chance you don't know who he is, I will link him in the description. But a long time ago, he did a top 5 Harvest Moon video, Harvest Moon games video. So I decided to do my own. One, because he inspired me by recently posting a video on A Wonderful Life, so that got me thinking about Harvest Moon, and I didn't really agree with his opinions, so I thought I would do my own top 3 Harvest Moon games video. So without any further ado, imaginary drum roll. My number 3 top Harvest Moon games is Magical Melody. Now this game I have a personal attachment to because it was actually the game I was first introduced to Harvest Moon with. It was my friend Aura who introduced me to it at her house long time ago. Middle school, I think, maybe high school. And I was not a big video gamer at that point in my life yet, and I was not into the more violent games. I am a little bit now, depending on what you consider violent. And she sat me down in front of Magical Melody, in front of her GameCube, and it just blew me away. An RPG about something that wasn't violent. Yeah, it's hard to get less violent than Harvest Moon. I remember really enjoying the different options you had for starting out. You could decide what perks best suited you. And I also remember really loving the mining because it was really interesting. So many of the Harvest Moon games that have mines have really boring mines. Only a handful of them have really good mines, and this was one of them. I actually loved this game so much that once I got a job, I bought a GameCube and everything I needed to get it working and controllers just for this game, just so I could buy this game. I also did get a version of Mario Party, but that's besides the point. It was all for this game. And my number 2 Harvest Moon game, can you tell I'm nervous in front of the camera, is Harvest Moon: A New Beginning. This is obviously one of the more recent Harvest Moon games. And one of the things that I like about this is the amazing level of customization. This is the only Harvest Moon game that I know of where you can customize so many details about your player character, about their looks. As I recall, the only other Harvest Moon game I know of that gives you any real option with your characters, at least in the handheld hemisphere, you only get to choose between 2 different players, as I recall. But another thing I enjoy about this game other than just customizing your character, there's customization absolutely everywhere. You can customize how your farm looks. You can customize pretty much the entire town. And I also really love the vacation spots area in the game. Just when you think that you've explored all this town has to offer, it lets you fly to places afar for a ton of money. But what do you expect? Now, I want to, before I mention my number 1, I would like to give an honorable mention to Rune Factory 4, because it is very Harvest Moon-like, and it also brings in the battle elements that RPGs usually have, but I couldn't bring myself to put it on this list solely because it is not strictly a Harvest Moon game. Rune Factory is its own thing. So, my number 1 Harvest Moon game, my favorite game ever, well, my favorite Harvest Moon game ever, is Harvest Moon DS Cute. This was the first Harvest Moon game that I owned. I only got to play Magical Melody a couple of times at Jessica's house, and it was enough that I sought this game out because at the time that I was looking, it was the latest Harvest Moon game for a platform that I had. In this game, everything seems to be in just the right balance. There's just enough variety to keep it interesting, but it's still very old school. Another thing that's nice is that essentially, if you're into the romance part of the game, it actually doubles your number of bachelors because you get to choose from the Mineral Town boys too. Oh, that's right. As I recall, I do believe that this is essentially a DS port of Another Wonderful, Wonderful Life. And I'm totally okay with that. I love Forget-Me-Not Valley, and it has my favorite bachelor in the world, in all of Harvest Moon, Sky the Phantom Thief. Now, Harvest Moon is known to reuse a lot of its characters, and I'm actually kind of sad that Sky has never made any other appearance. You could draw some similarities to him and Dan from Magical Melody, but no, it's just not the same. It's not. Now this game, like I mentioned in A New Beginning, also has really, as I mentioned in Magical Melody, also has really fun mines. Unfortunately, the mines in A New Beginning are actually pretty boring. But in this game, there are many, many floors of the mines. There are 4 different mines, and the final one goes all the way down to having over 1,000 floors. Over 2,000 floors, if I remember right. I also hacked this game. I never got that far in the mines. But yes, if you can tell, this game is still in its cellophane. I bought a spare just in case the one I have breaks. That is how much I love this game. It can be very difficult for me to describe why I love it, but to me it's just the right balance of everything Harvest Moon has. Now, disclaimer I should have made earlier, obviously I haven't played every single Harvest Moon game. So let's retitle this video, My Top 3 Harvest Moon Games of Games That I Have Played. So that's all I've got for you tonight. And surprise Shade, I'm uploading this video without telling her. So everybody, have a good day, good night, and the Royal Variety will see you later.